hurry. Thank you, sir.
That could try it, yeah. My partner was alive still, but I said, well, boy, again, boy, I ate too much of
Too
it.
much of food by Harry, boy. Oh, God, by Harry, all this food.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, man. Shout out to the deceased Mr. Bat. We still talk about you. We still miss you. While we eat, you could tell me a little bit about the building or the construction of this home.
Well, the easier part is sometimes it's easier said than done, but with that, you got to line it up. And as I said, you do not measurement, so at every corner.
Sorry, this home, eh? This structure here.
The one that we are living in right now.
The one that you're living in, right?
Right. So, you know, it took me some time. I built this whole thing in 3 different parts, and at first I had built that room there. Well, I didn't buy it up, I just covered that up with galvanized, not even this. And when I started working, I used to sleep by the old man when I now started off and on, and then I just covered that little piece and I started sleeping in the open. Well, I was living on the hill in fact, but I used to come down like on a Saturday or a Friday and I go out in the city, and when I come back up Saturday morning, I stay not till Sunday evening and then go. So I used to stay in that little room. And it took me like 3 years of coming and going. I started in 2016, Independence. So in the next year, 2017, I put up this other piece here. And I decided, well, yeah, I will bar around the back and I got some galvanized and start to bar it on. I didn't put up this piece either. Just did.
So at first, the first day also when you came here, you had this little structure behind the kitchen.
Yeah.
And you would spend your night.
Yeah, and I was cooking, like, you see, 2 sheets of this galvanized, I did run it from the cocoa tree on the ground, so I could cook under there, make coffee and make bubble up and on. Because my nephew and some friends of his came to start to dig that hole there. This was petrol. And what really went on, it took quite a while. Time that I cover up this piece while I'm digging and thing, and I still cooking in the bag there, but when I block around here now, I come and Mr. Boise and Kishore went with me and helped me cut some of these wrong with you. And we took it in and Mr. Boise come and helped me frame up this. And I covered by myself and then build up our side. And after that now I block around here now. And I told Mr. Boise, I want to buy a sushi apply and seal up the inside of the yard. He said, that's a good idea, and that's what I did. In the back of the city galvanized, but looking like it's a apply house from inside. With just some sheeting but galvanized at the back. So I started sleeping here comfortable now, and in 2019 I moved down here. And then, while I here, I started building.
Okay, so behind the galvanized facing at the back of the house, you buy 1/4-inch ply.
Yeah, yes.
And you put that up to give the assets in presentation.
Yeah. I threw something around the ground there and some old carpet there, and that is it.
And your experience in terms of bringing material, whether a man have a van or you drop things at the end of the road and walk it in?
Some of the stuff. But when I've got the block here and the sand, my nephew had a van, a Isuzu, and he brought in that right there. We get a trouble coming in with the van and thing, but we reach. And what happened, I was doing a little work in Tagarico there, and a guy turned 60 in fact. And the guy gave me after we finished with the castle and the balance of sand, he told me, bag it up and take it, man, because he knew what I was going to do. I was preparing the sewer. And I got the sand. I had bought red sand, and then my nephew make 2 triple blocks. I had bought 250 blocks. A few pieces of steel and thing, and we end up going by bag and thing now and suss out them pipe and them, all that pipe around here to get water out the earth. It took me about 9 months to get the sewer done, but what happened, I did that job so I could have put to buy the brick, buy the sewer tank, the toilet bowl and thing now. It takes long, but I get it done in 2019. And when that done, I say, yeah, I block up that room there, that's the private room, the only room with that door like so. I spent some good time here already, man. 5 solid years, going on 7, 8 years already. Well, living here 5 solid years without moving, like, you know.
You know, I thinking about how, yes, it is a wonderful thing when you have a job to do and whether you have the budget and the labor resources to do everything in one shot. Most of the people I know, their experience is one where they continually renovating, evolving. Even in my own personal experience, we haven't been able to afford any particular thing in one shot. It's always about you develop the space, you add to a room, you live with something that you probably want as a master bathroom, as a closet for a while, and then you could evolve. And you know, hats off to the people who out there, like Farmer Harry, like you, dear viewer, that you know you're working hard towards this better in your place and your space, a little bit every day for yourself and for your family. Is a wonderful thing. And hats off to you. Uh, so, when you have, with your, just to stray a little bit from the current structure to the future and your dreams, and we were doing some calculations, right? At a 32 feet slab, concrete slab, with ground beam and everything, based on our online calculator we use,
Yeah.
and some rough estimates from that, right? You need a minimum of 50 bags of cement. So tell me a little bit about, with your current living situation, what your experience, because it is slow walking, it is about 15 minutes to get to Farmer Harry's home. What getting 50 bags of cement to this spot is going to look like?
But you see, that's another thing too. Sometimes you could afford 20 bags of cement and you work with that. No, it will be hard to get it here. That is one of the killer. Because as I'm concerned, I have no direct transport that could depend on, you know, like, bam. But in another words, no, I do want to use 50 bags of cement to get this thing going. You know, I could start small. My thinking, I dig the trench and everything, but sink the corners where the column post going, where the C channel, the upright actually going, and cast all the posts. And after I'll come back with, but let the steel running on the ground, you know, to connect all the holes and things.
Right.
And just come and cast the post alone, and when I could afford that, I'm going to cast the ground hook. And go have the steel connected to all the columns.
Your initial, now I want to cover this thing in its entirety, yeah? You know, not leaving out any details. So the viewer who really interested in your story from the point of view of, hey, this is your story and maybe I have things like this to do. So I'd be talking openly about the details of the project, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you were expressing, hey, here's what. Based on the budget and what I could afford, I, as you're saying, just plan the post that will uphold the structure and then maybe, whether it's months later or years later, backtrack now and do the ground work, the
Yeah.
concrete form.
Yeah, you see, by that time too, you done had the roof and everything, so you stabilize the ground will be okay, dry and secure. So you could take your time now and do it room by room according, you know, if you can't cast a whole thing, you take it part by part.
Mm-hmm. How is that in terms of a labor effort? I understand the money part and why a choice like that could be made. But in terms of the labor effort, is it going to be a big set of backtracking now to have the structure up, the post, the roof,
No, it will
and
be,
then you're backtracking to dig a ground beam, cast a slab around that? Which one going to be easier?
the ground beam, the whole preparation of the ground work will be there. You wouldn't be casting the beam, but it will already prepare because the post, you're running your connector steel from that column to this column, it will be exposed in the middle there. You cast the corners right round, and you have the steel floating. So anytime, maybe a year after, and you could do that ground beam, you just cast it part by part. Just a beam, a drain at a time. It's simple like that, you know. Real simple. You do all the posts, so you're having your space in between the posts and them.
Okay.
You're 24 down here, and you come up to 18 inches, so you'll be casting like a 12 from up here.
Let me ignore budget constraints for a little while, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather put down your slab first, then your post? Which order would you like to
Now you
begin with?
have to put down the other the post first.
Okay, and sorry, so let me talk about the ground, the slab.
It's come like you're digging a trench, right? But once you know you dig a trench 18 inches, and where you put in the post, you go down 24, right? So when you come up there now, yeah, that come up 8 inches of casting along the column itself. So you will be almost level with the trench, but you're leaving the trench connected to the steel here, right? And that's running the exposed. So you, like you block here, you cast a post. You do the same thing here, you cast a post. You do the same thing there, but you're leaving that space. In no time at all, it become easier to work now. You just come out there and say, "Barrow, make 60 barrel by yourself and cast that piece of trench." And you keep doing it like that all the time.
Tell me a little bit about your labor force.
But here I won't worry about the labor force too much. I will get little help and thing, but here I will be here, I'm living here.
Some years ago, when Kim was living in Mokoya, I looked out one Saturday and I saw a group of about 24 people mixing concrete, and they were working on casting a slab, right? So eventually I ventured across and I offered a hand. The owner apologized. He said, "Boy, you could come and help me, nobody rum down, you know."
But here what
I say, "Boss, I ain't come for the rum, I just come to get a little punk, right?"
Here what me do say Rob, I know a crew. Bring her to Megiton and you bring them here, them cast out the whole floor. They might just go to the room and leave the floor halfway done.
You might slide down into the river afterwards.
But they will get it done.
Yeah.
You know. Now I want the two guys who will really put down. Look like my partner across the red man, you know him. I won't call his name and thing, but he, I used to carry that with me and he used to work long, and that man alone mixing a load of gravel like no man, and like fast as fast. And he said, "Well, let me drop another one." I tell you, that some men wasn't paid hard work, boy. This kind of work now, you keep talking about slab, but let me tell you something now. When you dig the square right from, it come like you drain it, you call it a drain. You dig your drain, but it's a trench really. And you line up with each column going. We call it column, but you know it's C channel we're talking about. But you have to say column because column is post. So every corner, you put up, well, right, you deal with the 4 corners. You cast your 4 corners to your square. And then now, if that's what you could do in one day, if you had 2 men, you mix about a 10 barrel and you cast the 4 corners. If you have extra, you put up now a post in the middle and you start to separate. You could pull a line right on your 4 corners from column to column so you know exactly where each one going by measurement now. And that slab that you're talking about, remember that column tells you, you come here with the next 4 feet, you cast the next one. But you just have 4 feet of space in there where you will be putting 8 inches of concrete, but you call in the slab. So when you cover that 8 inches now, you meet back into the column and you come higher. Although you don't cast that 6 inches down inside there in the footing. When you come and you put the next 8 on that, 8 and 6 days, 14 inches of concrete you have on the column, which will be a very strong structure. So you could afford to put any weight on that. Now, as I said, you could come back now and take your time and 2 barrels to cast that little piece of trench and mix that and throw that there on your own time. And you circle in your building. And if you intend to put a block, you have the block. So every time you cast a little piece, you put the block in that wet concrete so it's holding on there. And you have in steel 2 length or steel 3 length, whatever you choose.
And that is how you think you would like to go about your project?
Yeah. I'll be able to handle it soon. Because you have, if I put up the 4 column, right, remember you have to plumb them and make sure this way. So you cast the 4 corners. Now with the 4 corners cast, you could run a line in the ground connection to the, and you run one halfway up like window height. So when you put up your other, see now everything in order. You just kiss in that line and you measurement 4 feet because you're working in 4 feet like you know there's a sheet of ply going here. A ply is 8 by 4. So that's how you have to build to that specification because if you're using ply. I'm talking concrete ply.
Okay.
So piece by piece.
Yeah. I guess what I have in mind for Amahari, and you would have it in mind too, is that...
We could take some more allusion.
Thank you.
We are taking the pot now. We just raise the tower and take some.
The thing that I have in mind is your age, and with the way that you're talking about approaching the project, which is absolutely fine. You've done it in the past and you could continue to do it, right?
Yeah.
But the way that you do it is that you will now be extending probably 2-3 years into this project.
I said 2 years in.
Right.
Let me say,
Yes.
you have a point there.
Piece by piece, and you know, you have other things going on.
Yeah.
Your farming will be affected if it is the longer your project extended. Your living accommodations. So I guess I just have it in mind. Hey, yes, that is the approach, and probably given your budget and your income, that is how you will have to approach it. But what if all these pieces were in place?
In one shot?
And in one shot, you kind of get things done so that your project, you're certain that it doesn't extend beyond the 2 year period.
What
I think that's what happened.
What you actually are saying is this, like you, if I come up with all the material in a week time, I can done the structure before the year done.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see a point there. More, if everything was in place, a month or two and you have it covered. You know, minus the total borrowing and thing. The idea is to have it covered. Have the upright up and cover it up
Right,
and then.
you half a wall.
Yeah.
And then piece by piece as you go along.
Yeah. You do a room at a time, or a wall at a time. But I see your point, you need to
And
get
like,
everything.
Stick to the bottom of the pot.
It's Friday.
That's great for the pot.
It's Friday, right.
Mm-hmm. That's the best part
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
But for a lot of people do. It have a name for it.
Bon.
A Hindustani word for it.
But they say bon. Bon is like when you make pilau and you,
Yes.
the final thing, bun with the coconut grease and thing.
Yes, man.
Yeah, it's called a bun. A lot of people is killed for that. Well, not killed, still say that. It's like they'll fight for it now. Just put back the plot, you know. Yeah. Right.
I want not kill.
So you see what you're saying is that it makes sense. But sometimes you can't have some already material here happening. Like a little in a fantasy world, we're not living in a fantasy world because you might say, you know, I wish I could do that, but wishes are for fool. You have two things, some wish and some will. The people who wish wait and stand by waiting for it to happen, but those who will make it happen. So as I'm saying, if it take me a year to get everything, to get the material, and I have everything in sight, I won't start the business unless I have certain thing in order. So if I get everything in this year time, in 4 months time, before the Christmas, I put up that structure, cover it, and I will take my time and start a block. Because as I said, to get the material here is one of the biggest problems. It will take some time, and as we talk about it, now things might happen, you hear what happen, I just talk about wishing fantasy world. What happen in a millennium will happen in a second here.
Huh.
And the way things are going today, and in the world, the entire globe is on that shit.
You see, there's some bad fires in Los Angeles, boy.
Yeah, some lives are lost. And here what? Not too far away up in the northern side, like Dakota, Missouri, Kansas, coming down into Texas, snowstorm. I think a few lives was lost in certain place. I think it's Kansas. Dodge City, right?
Dodge City.
Yeah, update terrible. The fires in Los Angeles, I told you, they lies on a earthquake fault, so they have any slight problem. But I find Los Angeles always being hit by some thing or the other, some part in time.
When you say wishes are for fools,
Yeah.
you know I wish this Roti and Fryer who hadn't even light, boy.
Huh.
A piece of plantain, boy.
It's no plantain right now. It's a green one, eh?
Perfect.
You know, Max, about plantain
I am
yesterday.
going to imagine years ago it had some men, it was World War II, boy. The men stuck on a boat, a plane crash. Into the Sun is the name of the movie. It had a fella, boy, that man only fantasizing about the taste of different food. And they say it helped them survive, you know.
Yes, he thought.
Yeah, boy, you see, boy, that man used to be talking to the fellas and say, fellas, imagine we in Chicago right now eating X, Y, and Z. You know? Yeah. So I imagine the taste of this plantain, you know.
Yeah. The plantain I dropped the last time, it was real nice, but I know try some in it.
Mm-hmm.
My mom told me I think she can get out of it.
Pretty much frying plantain this morning.
From that side?
Mm-hmm. I just know this plantain nice, boy.
That's why she played in this thing. Raise the bucket and say some. Yeah. You can walk out, man, and where there is a will, there is a way. You have to make it happen. That's why I could never forget that trip up the road there. Take so much years and I end up going. Now I'm thinking, my birthday coming up again to go somewhere. The sun is affecting the camera, right?
Nah, we get to go, man.
Alright.
Harry, that was a wonderful breakfast.
So the coffee will be
I'll
cool.
have an enough coffee to finish it up.
Coffee will be cool.
Oh boy, you're always very hospitable.
Duba man,
Duba man.
you're doing
You
your
come to
job.
bite me or smell my socks? Oh, you smell another dog on there?
Your dog smart, eh? Your dog smart like that. So have him let go, because it will not go by the neighbor. You let go them other dog, they might go to run by the neighbor. I can't handle that. This dog, Like remember when we was in here, I told the daddy dog wouldn't leave me. I my bodyguard. If I go up in the yard, he go be lying down somewhere right there. And when I go trying to see him, I go hear them making noise. He come back home and check, come back and check me up there. Up and down. If I head in out the road, the food is the last time he reaches by back and I do so up back up the road. So now we just reach right there. It's just like the dog they poison, it's a wait on the step there. But the beauty about these dogs, when I go there and come in, I buy a little bread. So when I come out, give each one of them a piece of it till they school down and they know they are come. And then I'll cook food. Yeah, all right. You see, look, them creatures are not looking for food. They buy things outside in the water, they're not nice. Human man is a so destructive kind of animal, is a shame. We're doing things. You know what happening in the world right now? Farming, right? It's hardly have food in certain countries. They rely on outdoor imports and things. We have a real problem because if you don't have food, and you're stable, then you will die of hunger. We're looking right here in Trinidad, there are many things people cannot get in.
In Trinidad?
Yeah. Food stuff. We only importing a set of canned stuff and things. We can't things. We getting some of dal, hard dal now from outside there and we're making it. It is in Mexico, in the desert. You know long time when you buy a dal? No fun with those something and it's creamy now. Now the dal has come out chunky sometimes, but it's well cooked so. But it take longer when by firewood.
So you have observed that difference in the texture of dal
Yeah.
that we get,
Yeah.
the quality.
Equality.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't cook, and now we have this. I am going to go home and ask Kimberly about it.
Yeah.
And I would like you, dear viewer, to let me know in the comment section if there really is a difference in the quality. Have you noticed it in other things as well?
Well, in
Dal,
the red beans and lentils, here what? You will get a lentils too. Lentil is one of the fastest bursting peas. But sometimes it takes longer. When you check it on your press, it's like rock. It have the, how we call this other peas too. The red beans, long time you used to get a redder bean.
Excuse me.
But the red bean used to be red hot. Look at, again, I've been the same red bean, but it's not red anymore, it's kind of pinkish. And the thing cooking fast, and real fast it bursting. It has some days. When you go in the supermarket and you want some red one, don't take them things hard like stone. Look for the lighter color red bean. It bursts easier. The lentil piece, it have a little fine grain at all, but I don't want to buy that because like that does look like iron over. Long it does take to burst.
You can't find stone in that, it's so fine.
Yes, yeah, it has stone in it too. Here what happens, when you deal with this, like one of them basin, them nickel basin, you drop any piece in it, you will hear stone if it there and then you look for it.
Ah.
It just make a terrible sound.
Right,
Ping!
a ping.
Yeah. The most
Hey,
more
boy, the
stone
worst
dropping.
is eating our lentils and they're biting stone.
You know what happened? Yeah, that's another thing I don't eat all about because I want them.
Because of that, that is one of my favorite lentil peas and red beans. Squash, red beans are
But
nice.
I tell you a long time I used to cook red bean right through and I find it bursting. Some take long, but recently I'm getting some red bean like they put it up now and I woke up in the bag and thing and it boiled down that water. By the time I come back I could chunk it that it done so. Yeah. But yeah, I guess I soak it overnight. But that is something I love, but that damn dal getting too hard. You know, actually people do that. I think they're going it out in the desert in Mexico there right now. Not because the dal say Indian that it coming from India, you get tired. Lentil, all of them thing coming from Mexico, China, and that's southern tip there, the southern tip, panhandle. Everything. I think I'm like how Trump will win. If he close the border, we will have a more struggle for food because we won't be getting anything. We haven't been like that growing at dal, split peas, and all we just grow is pigeon peas. We know we good compared to certain places like for Antigua instance. Them importing everything so you could imagine how less money your value have up there. I mean less value your money has. What are you looking at it?
The palm.
Oh, you know what is that?
It's a beautiful palm. That is as much as I know.
Like supari.
Super Harry.
Supari.
Super Harry?
Yeah.
It was Super Harry.
Yeah. There's a little kind of thing like a pure. Or a cocoa weed if you want to look at it like that with a shell just like it
Okay.
has a seed in it. You does it with pearls. You just collect it and thing and you do Hindu pearls with it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Never hear about it.
Don't we just go down there, I bring that by the school?
Super Harry.
It has 2, 3 across the road, they look yellow and nice and they feel like pure. That they sell for big money. That you have to get that in a Hindu shop and thing. I plant one because I had thing to come by. I get some seed and I said 2, 3 seed only one bush and I planted right there. So that go be going up by the house. It's not a pick a tree and it don't grow big.
Right. So as you said plants, you have your house structure in mind.
Yeah. That was the stump as the bung really. But I take any measurement and some here again. So
Yeah.
whereby we utilize it. And brand source man, we go brand source and buy some material.
So folks, what I'm going to do is cut camera. The next video, when we resume, is where Farmer Harry will be giving me a tour. What I'll do is I'll link the video somewhere up there. When it appears, you could click the button. Remember to like and subscribe if indeed you like the video. Thanks very much for your time. Bye. Oh, and let me know about the peas if it really coming harder than it used to come long time.
So, Whitey, put your head inside.